Hello and welcome to Mission Impactful, where we learn from local nonprofits who are making it their mission to make a positive impact. Hi everyone, I'm Tara Tomczyk-Cusack, President and CEO of the Nonprofit Network Alliance and the Troy Chamber of Commerce, but most importantly, your host. First, I'd like to take a moment and thank our presenting sponsor, Austin Benefits Group. Stay tuned for our first commercial break, where you can learn the Austin Advantage and how they can benefit your group. So, today on Mission Impactful, like how I just gave you the look, we are meeting with Stephanie from the Alzheimer's Association. So, their mission is to lead the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. So, Stephanie is the director of Detroit's Walk to End Alzheimer's for the Alzheimer's Association, where she leads one of the region's largest community-driven fundraising and awareness initiatives. With a passion for advocacy and relationship building, she partners with volunteers, corporate leaders, and families impacted by Alzheimer's to drive meaningful change. Stephanie is dedicated to advancing care, support, and research while mobilizing the community to end this disease. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So you mentioned in your bio that you are the director of the Detroit Walk to End Alzheimer's. So why don't you just start off talking about what this event looks like and why should people care about it?
Yeah, so I am the director of the Detroit Walk to End Alzheimer's, but we actually have 22 walks in Michigan. So I am just in charge of Detroit. The Detroit Walk is one of the top 30 walks in the country. So we actually have over 600 walks around the country that happen every year to support the end of finding money for research and a cure.
So what's interesting is you say that there's probably around 600 across the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
That just tells you how many people that Alzheimer's affects, whether it be the actual person who has it or the caregivers, all of that. Talk me through that kind of experience.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't realize they know somebody that does have Alzheimer's or a form of dementia. So 1 in 3 people know somebody that has a dementia.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually surprised it's not higher.
Yeah, and I think it would be, but probably people don't realize they do know somebody because they haven't openly shared it yet. They may not be ready to share. So, people are faced with that struggle, and caregivers might not want to put that burden and let their friends know that they're dealing with a parent that's going through that. And so, unfortunately, so many caregivers, there's over 200,000 in Michigan that are caring for somebody with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. So it's tough, and we are here to try to support. We have support groups that are in our communities. We have lots of online tools and resources. And so that's why it's really important to us to do these walks and why we have 22 in the state of Michigan alone to support our communities and be in the communities to help provide those services to people all over, from Marquette to Grand Rapids to over here in Detroit.
Well, it's interesting so one of the things that I always found unique is that we're seeing a lot of adult child, and we're seeing them dealing with their parents. And I mean, mind you, it can happen at any age. People don't realize that part. But if you're having some cognitive decline and you're having some things, we see a lot of times these adult caregivers saying, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't. Nobody has it fully. They need the support of organizations like yours.
They do. And people take for granted, especially we have so many people now, calling it the sandwich generation, where they're taking care of their parent, but they're also taking care of their kids. Mm-hmm. And you start to get more and more tired, and it's hard.
Caregiver fatigue.
Yep. And so, it's important, I think. I say to people a lot of times, when you get on the plane and they always say, put the mask on yourself first before you put it on your kid. It's kind of the same thing. As a caregiver, you have to take care of yourself before taking care of everybody else, because you just won't be as successful as you want to be without taking care of yourself. And so we do have support groups just for caregivers to be able to go and talk. And, having resources. We have a 24-hour helpline, which is really just designed. You can call it 2:30 in the morning just to cry if that's what you need to do, or not knowing what to do because somebody is trying to get out of the house and you're at your wit's end and you just need to talk to somebody about what's the right way to handle this. And same for somebody somebody that is dealing with Alzheimer's. Sometimes they need to understand, how can I deal with my daughter who is being a pain in my butt and is not letting me do these things.
Hovering, yep.
So there's just so many different emotions that can come with it. And so, we are just here to try to support them the best way we can.
So let's talk about the walk. So what are some of the great things that they're going to see at this walk?
Well, first, the sense of community, right? Coming together. And, for the Detroit walk, we have over 5,000 people that come.
Oh, wow. So it's a very big walk.
It's a very big walk.
Okay.
And so we are at the Detroit Zoo on Sunday, September 27th. We open the zoo gates at 7:30, and 5,000 of your closest friends come out to visit. But it's impactful in the way is being there and seeing you're not alone. And there's other people. And so kind of like our fun flowers that we have.
I'm sorry, I was excited to play with this immediately.
Yes. And so we
it
did not
spin it. Fine.
Not windy enough here. At the walk, it's really one of those moments when we have what we call the Promise Garden, and that is our flowers, and we have 4 different colors, and each one represents something different.
So what do they represent? I want to know.
Yeah, so the orange represents that you are there to support. You're in the community, you're a part, you want to support friends and family that are dealing with it, with any type of dementia. Blue, which is behind you, represents that you're living with Alzheimer's. And so we have people that will take that flower on walk day. We have the purple that represents that you've lost somebody to Alzheimer's. And so unfortunately, we do see a lot of the purple at the walk. And then yellow is for our caregivers, and they get to hold that flower. That being said, everybody likes to get their color, and it's not always about what the meaning is, but it is impactful when we look out into the crowd of 5,000 people and see those different colors representing those people and what they're struggling with, and to look around and know you're with your people and they're there to support you, and there's no judgment. We're all there trying to raise money to find a cure.
Well, and it does, like you said, it brings a sense of community. So if you're holding the yellow, you're going to look for another yellow who might be going through the same struggles. And I'm quite positive that a lot of friendships have started at that walk. Just people that you can advocate together with.
Yep, definitely. And we have we have a mission tent, so we have a lot of information, and we, have different people from the community coming and sharing resources with families that are there, because sometimes too, they're not ready to say what they need, but when you're walking around and you're like, oh, what do you got here? And so it gives a lot of the businesses in our community the opportunity to be there with their demographic, with the people that they're servicing in the communities, and to be able to share how they can help them, or getting the information to the wife or the daughter or the son to say, here's something when you're ready. That we're here.
When you're ready is the key words.
Yep. So it really is, it's a fun day. It does have the word walk in it, but it doesn't mean you have to walk. Being there and just being a part of the program and the people is important. But we are at the Detroit Zoo, so it is fun.
You can sit and stare at the otters if you like.
Yes, exactly.
That's
so
where I would be.
I always tell people, I'm like, don't say you can't walk, because you don't need to. Like, that's not what this walk is truly about. It's about being together in the community.
So you say it's about being together, it's about the community. How do people get involved? How do people become a part of this walk? How do they register? Talk me through those things.
Yeah, so you can go to ALZ, so just like the Alzheimer's Association, alz.org/walk. And so that will pull up, and you can put in your zip code. And so even if you don't live in Metro Detroit, it will find the closest walk for you. But you can see the Detroit Walk, and you can start a team. You can join a team. So depending, we have a lot of businesses that start teams, and we love that because it's really a great employee engagement activity too for businesses. It's a nice way to bring your employees and their families out to support a cause and be a part of something in the community. So, if they want to start their own team as a family and friends team, or they want to start a team at their office, we love it all. So we invite everybody to come out, start their team, and just start fundraising and come join us.
Perfect. Well, guys, I think this is a good moment to take a quick break and hear a word from our presenting sponsor, Austin Benefits Group. We'll be right back.
It's Dean Austin, President and CEO of Austin Benefits Group, proudly serving as the official benefit provider of the Detroit Lions Radio Network. Is your HR team helping you grow your business, or are they swamped with the day-to-day services that your current broker should be doing? The right benefits company can make your team feel valued, supported, leading to massive wins. Elevate your business. Empower your team with the Austin Advantage. Let's build a healthier, stronger Detroit together.
Welcome back to Mission Impactful, presented by Austin Benefits Group. We are here with Stephanie from the Alzheimer's Association. Okay, so you mentioned the walks at the zoo. I've already talked about the fact that I want to hang out with the otters and all the people there, the 5,000 people. But what should people see and expect? Like, talk me through like some of the things that they're going to see at the zoo, other than the animals.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the animals.
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my. But
yeah, so, we open the zoo gates at 7:30. It is one of those things I like to remind people, register early. Yeah. Even if you're not really sure, register, because, you do need to have a zoo ticket to get in. So we do need everybody registered to come.
So register early, everyone.
Yep. And everybody over the age of 2 does need to be registered. And this helps with the zoo for capacity,
for sure.
Right? When you got 5,000 people, you got to know how many people we have in the zoo. And so I say register early. Again, if you're not sure, it's okay. It doesn't cost anything to register. So register, sign up. Then you can, go from there. You get in the zoo gates, and we start bringing everybody in and sharing that sense of community. And we have our vendors, we have a sponsor tent, we have different activities like the Promise Garden, where you can plant your flower, take some pictures with it. We have a kid zone, we have a tailgate area, we have our big inflatable brain. That sounds kind of funny, but if you think like a bounce house, but it's no bouncing on the brain, but you can walk through the brain and learn some information, and there's some facts and information that can be shared, and sometimes that is a fun way to
what
learn
a
a little
cerebellum
something.
of a time.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
And then we have a tribute wall, and so actually it was on the news last year when they came out, and so we have cards, and we tell everybody to share. Why do you walk? Why are you here? And it's pretty impactful to see that wall with everybody's note cards and their stories written on there too. And then we start our program about 9:30, and share stories, and we have people that represent each one of our colored flowers up on the stage, and then we start our walk about 10 o'clock, and then everybody gets to enjoy the day at the zoo. So again, they can go power through, and if they want to do that 1.5 mile loop in the zoo, they can do that, or they can bring a wagon and enjoy the day with their family. There's no finish line. It's not a 5K where you got to get to the end at a certain time. Nobody's holding you to that.
Nobody's timing you.
Nope. It is your day after you start that walk at 10 o'clock. So
you mentioned the tribute wall.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you've seen the impact this is. You've seen some of those stories. You're a part of these stories. Mm-hmm. What are some, tell me a story that may have touched your heart. I was like, and please don't cry. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, there's so many stories, and you hear, and it's hard because you hear these stories, and that's why I come to work every day, is because I don't want to hear these stories anymore. Really, that's, I was a caregiver myself. I've taken care of somebody in the past, and, everybody has different experiences, but I will say, and this was years and years ago, we had a girl, and her dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in his 40s. And she was, I want to say she was like 9 years old. She wasn't very old. And she wrote us a letter with money that she had been saving to help us find a cure for her dad. And how do you explain that? You can't. You can't. And that moment, especially as a mom myself, and seeing that, that poor child had to deal with something that no child should have to deal with at that age. And so that's pretty much why I come to work every day and why I do, every little bit helps. And I mean, she gave us $20, and
that's a lot of money for a 9-year-old.
A lot of money. And, and she was like, what else can I do? And that's the hard part right now, right? We're still trying to fund this research to find that cure. And that's why we do this walk. So, our goal is to raise $900,000 here in Detroit. I think we can do more in Detroit and really make an impact. But, we are fortunate. The Alzheimer's Association is the largest funder of research in the world. And it's because of everybody that comes to the walk and helps us do these fundraisers. And so, I just hope that I don't have to hear the story of a 9-year-old,
If a 9-year-old can save her pennies to help her dad, people can support. They can write a check. They can donate.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick to wrap things up, what are some of the takeaways you want people who come to the walk for them to have? But also, let's talk through how they can donate. What are some of the ways they can fundraise?
Right. So there's so many opportunities. And the great thing is we're here to support people. We're not going to say, figure it out on your own. We have, amazing champions, we call them, that are our fundraisers that are raising over $500 and more every year. And we like to get them together and share with other people too. What are they doing? What works? What doesn't work? It can be as simple as a give back night at a restaurant that you organize, and hey, 20% of the sales are going to go to your team for the Alzheimer's Association. Or you do a garage sale, and everything you are selling is going to the fundraiser. Lemonade stands, a lot of kids want to help grandma and grandpa.
Oh, those bottle drives too.
And bottle drives.
Yeah.
So, it can be very simple, and it can be, people go and do silent auctions and get things donated. Companies will do pickleball or golf outings and things like that too. Wine tastings are a big one that's been happening.
I would show up to that.
Yes,
So.
definitely. So, we like to work with businesses too that can help us connect teams to those fundraisers. So, we love that we can have sponsors too that are in the community that we can say, hey, this is a sponsor, they're supporting us, but we can also support them by telling our teams, hey, you want to do a give back night, this restaurant can support you, or this business can, this golf course is donating a certain percentage of it back to the walk. So yeah, there's just so many. We have something for everybody's level of comfort. So it's easy to get started.
I love it. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, I know the impact you guys are making. And that's all we have here today on Mission Impactful, presented by Austin Benefits Group. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I look forward to the walk.
Yes, I can't wait.
This should be a wonderful day. So thanks, everyone. And I just wanted to take a moment to say, I hope you make today a day that you can make an impact. Have a great rest of your day.